Hello and welcome to another powerful group SFT tapping event. This one is entitled Global Healing for Israel-Palestine Peace. I'm Marvin Schneider.
And I'm Jenuine.
I should say that we did a group tapping event right in the beginning of the start of this particular conflict in early October 2023. That one was called Transcending the Israel-Palestine Conflict. If you haven't seen that one and if you haven't participated in that tapping event, please do that. Jump onto the Genuine Healing website, look for the video that says or even our Genuine Healing YouTube channel, look for the video entitled Transcending the Israel-Palestine Conflict and tap along with it. In a lot of ways, this is part two of that tapping event, Jen, because the conflict still exists and it's getting in a particular nasty phase of things.
Well, yeah, and energetically, it really seems that this is an opportunity for all humanity who's watching this play out to stop sitting on the sidelines and add their synergy to the work we're doing to transcend the issue at a higher vantage point.
Okay, there's a couple of things that you said there that's really important. Actually, there's one really important word in what you've just said, and that is to transcend the issue. And one of the ways that you don't transcend the issue is to fall on one side or the other side of the issue. That is not transcending the issue. That is fueling partisanship, and that is adding fuel to the fire that continues and escalates. And so we are definitely addressing this at a non-partisan level. We are not playing a perpetrator victim. We are not on one side or the other of the conflict. We are interested in universal empowerment, and that is empowerment for all people. And this particular conflict represents the potential to be a clear and present danger to the empowerment of 8 billion people on the planet. That's why we're addressing this. And we are addressing it at a higher level of consciousness in a non-partisan way.
Absolutely. A lot of people will think, well, what does this matter to me? I'm not Jewish. I'm not on this side of the world. It's not affecting me. But what they don't realize is that everything that happens here affects us all. All the trauma and suffering in the world that you think is on the other side of the world, it's part of the collective. So people are feeling it in their bones, in their issues, in their psyche. And doing these taps are a way to release it from your own psyche if you don't care about it because it's on the other side of the world. This does help you as an individual.
One of the reasons why it's so important to address this at the higher vantage point in energy in a non-partisan way is that the whole conflict and the first cause of the conflict is it's so complex, convoluted, tangled. It is such a viper's nest of interest, self-interest, retribution, and so on that it is virtually impossible to untangle all of these things in a linear way. That's why we need to address these issues in energy, Jen.
Yes, and it's also impossible to address it on an intellectual level because the the conflict is happening on the mental realm as well, which is where the intellect is. So we have to raise our vantage point to above just articulating what's going on, but actually address it in energy.
The work that Jen, you and I are doing is at a high vantage point in energy from the position of an adept who really doesn't care about the politics of the day. And so the one thing that we are fundamentally interested in is promoting and igniting universal empowerment. And where that hits the crossroads of the politics of the day is where you have right-wing, extremist, fascist, autocratic, dictator style power mongering. That genre then connects into a political moray. And so the only connection with the politics of the day is that universal empowerment is is the antithesis of what's represented in that autocratic dictator power monger role of things. And so that's why we're doing the work.
Absolutely. And it is the antithesis, but not on a level playing field, because all the opportunists have a selfish desire in their intentions. And what we do here is have a selfless desire. There's nothing in it for us.
All right. We're going to be doing about 80 or 90 taps addressing and promoting a global healing in relation to peace in Israel and Palestine as being one aspect of universal empowerment. For those, Jen, that are new to this and might find us for the first time, can you please explain what we're about to do here?
Okay, so I'm going to give you something to say. You're going to say it 3 times while continuously tapping the top of your head. A fourth time will tap in your chest, and a fifth time will tap in your abdomen. And if you get lost in the words, it's okay. Marvin's going to be saying them, and just follow along with Marvin and catch up as you can. The first tap is: the first cause of proxy wars in the Middle East is eliminated in all moments. The Israel-Palestine conflict is thwarted from emboldening religious zealots in all moments. The first cause of the Israel-Palestine conflict is eliminated in all moments. All curses from holy scriptures are removed from Israel and Palestine in all moments. All assholes perpetuating the Israel-Palestine conflict are energetically reprimanded in all moments. All power factions are thwarted from enlivening old engrams of hate in all moments. All those being used by power factions to consolidate power through conservative coalitions wake the fuck up in all moments. Extremists are thwarted from using the Palestinian or Israeli people as human shields in all moments. All engrams of muscle memory of Israel and Palestine being enemies is released in all moments. Cain and Abel empower and nurture each other in all moments. The coming together of Israel and Palestine is a seedbed to world peace in all moments.
That was quite the thing. And I hope people that are watching this and that stayed with us to actively participate and add their synergy appreciate the extent to which these taps were done at a higher level of consciousness, specifically to avoid partisanship, us versus them, and falling on one side or the other side of the conflict. Because any action that moves forward in either one side or other side of the conflict is doomed to fail. This is the only way we can address this conflict.
Right, and a good exercise to do for yourselves is when you find yourself being triggered to react and judging either one side or the other, remove yourselves from that judgment and apply it to both sides or neither, and then just send love to all the people who are suffering, regardless of what side they're on.